Good morning. My name is Dan Sadler, and it's my privilege to be principal of Carson Middle School. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of Carson City School District to our school today. If you would all please join me, we're going to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Again, welcome to Carson Middle School. Superintendent Urquiaga, Governor Sandoval, dignitaries, guests, teachers, and students, thank you for sharing your morning with us here today. Students, you've learned about the Nevada Constitution this year and the process involved in adopting a law, from drafting a bill through committees, hearings, readings, and passage. And one of the critical steps in signing the bill into law. The signing of this bill is a historic moment for the state of Nevada. We're going to learn a little bit more about it here today, but in particular for our students, past, present, supporting a safe and respectful learning environment. Students and staff, I'd like to personally thank you for your teamwork and participation in creating a safe and respectful learning environment at Carson Middle School, and for your willingness to stand up for doing what is right, for your commitment to excellence, and for working with your parents and school leaders to create positive solutions at Carson Middle School. I'd like to thank you all again for being here with us today and for your contributions and ongoing commitment to making our schools safe and respectful, and for raising the expectations for excellence and supporting student success. It's my pleasure to introduce to you a leader in our state who is committed to success for all students. Please join me in welcoming our State Superintendent of Public Instruction for the state of Nevada, Mr. Dale Urquiaga.
Thank you, Principal Sadler, Governor Sandoval, legislators, and most important, Solons, right? Yeah. That was a little weak. That's what I like to hear. So I want to begin by thanking you for participating today. And I want to tell a little story to start. You heard that I'm the Superintendent of Public Instruction. That means that by law, I have the stewardship of 450,000 K through 12 students in the state of Nevada. I'm also the guy that made you just take the Smarter Balanced Assessment test. If you took that, yeah, I know. Sorry. But I grew up in Fallon, and I went to there and junior high. We had both when I went there. And the bill that we're signing today has made me think a lot about school. So I was overweight as a kid, I was kind of prissy, and I got bullied a lot. But it has made me think about the people that I bullied. When you're bullied, sometimes you find somebody else sort of lower on the school chain that you can pick on. So it has made me think about that a lot, and it has made me rethink many of the beliefs I've held about our schools and about the learning environment that I'm responsible for ensuring for you. So I want you to think for a minute if you've ever felt bullied yourself. I want you to think for a minute if you've ever bullied somebody. But then I want you to think about that if it happened all the time, every day, and it followed you home on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever social media you use. That is the difference in your generation from mine. I'm a lot older than you. We didn't even have computers when I went to middle school. But today, as Governor Sandoval said in his State of the State address, the safe and respectful learning environment need follows you home. We have a responsibility for you when you are inside these walls. But your families have shared responsibility for you as well, and we have to work together with families. And that's really what this bill is about. It's why the legislature is here assembled with Governor Sandoval to talk about families and schools and to talk about students. You heard that a little bit about a bill being signed, so let me remind you how a bill becomes a law. The bill starts with an idea, and I will tell you that this idea started with families who are here today. They honestly didn't think that my office was doing enough. They were right. They went to my boss. Governor Sandoval. And Governor Sandoval became personally involved with this legislation. That's how a bill begins. Somebody has an idea because something isn't happening right, or they have an idea to make something better, and they go to someone who can change that. They went to Governor Sandoval. Governor Sandoval went to the Nevada legislature. He'll talk about that. And they wrote a bill. Senate Bill 504 started in the Senate, moved to the Assembly where it was approved, and now we're at the last step where it'll be signed. What does it do? It does three really important things, I think. It defines bullying. If I think about what bullying was like for me versus what bullying is like for you, it's probably different. So we want to help your teachers and your administrators and your parents and you understand what's right and what's wrong at school and outside our walls. It provides for a means of investigating and communicating with families when something goes wrong. That was the genesis of this bill. Something went horrible with some children in our state, and their families were really frustrated. And so this bill requires investigation and requires communication. To achieve that, the legislature has seen fit to increase training so that your teachers and administrators can help us all understand that. And to effect that, they have created the Office for a Safe and Respectful Learning Environment in the Department of Education. It is one of only 2 offices created by law within my department. I can call things in my department whatever I want. One office is the Office of Parent Involvement and Family Engagement because your moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles are so important. This is the second office that the legislature has seen fit to say, you must have this because they care about you and they care about that learning environment. So that's really what this bill does. It provides a framework for changing what goes on in your schools. It provides a framework for Solons to communicate with Solons and for you and your families to be able to communicate with your school when you are uncomfortable, when you feel bullied, when something is challenging you, and that is affecting your learning. So this bill is about being different, and that's why we're here today. You probably noticed when we were sitting down, my socks don't match. It's because one of the young ladies that were here in tribute today like to wear mismatched socks. But for me, those different socks are about being different from today going forward. They're not just about remembering her. That's important. But what is equally important is being different from today, from the time this bill is signed, going forward. We wanted to come here. Governor Sandoval asked us to come here because this is about you, and we need you to lead the way and be different. Can you do that for me? Yes! Thank you. Then with that promise, and since you're now part of this moment in history, it is my very great pleasure to introduce my friend, my boss, the governor of the great state of Nevada, Brian Sandoval.
Good morning, Solons. Good morning. Come on, you guys know the drill. Come on. It really is a privilege to be here. Principal Sadler, where did he go? There he is. Thank you for hosting this historical event. And you really are a part of history. Now, Superintendent does an amazing job for all of you. And I don't know if I've ever met somebody who cares so deeply about each and every one of you and takes it to heart. You know, he left out one little bit of his history and a nice little story that I'd like to share with you as well. But, you know, look at the person who's sitting next to you. Okay? So I want way back when, and I won't say the year, but way back when, the superintendent and I were classmates in second grade at Northside Elementary School in Fallon, Nevada. So we were just 2 little boys in a small school in a small town. So when you look at the person sitting next to you, that person could be the governor and the superintendent someday. So you just never, ever know. So I have a question for you. How many days till summer break? I know it's coming up. 6? Okay. So this is a great time of year for all of you because you have a chance to think back and look at your experience here at Carson Middle School. And also for some of you, we'll be heading off to Carson High School, correct? And that's what Principal told me is Solons become senators. So that's a great thing. I know you've all worked hard. I personally want to thank your teachers, and you should give them a big hand for getting you where you are. But before we kick off the summer break, as the superintendent said, there's an important conversation that we need to have together, and that's why we're all gathered here today. We're here as part of the Nevada family, and I talk about this every place I go, because we're all in this together. We're coming together committed to changing the conversation and attitude in our schools. We have to stop bullying. We have to. You know, the superintendent shared his story. I know I've had my experiences, and you don't forget those. You don't. And I don't want anyone to have to experience that. We had to find a way that we could confront this problem directly and forcefully, because none of you should ever have to dread going to school. You shouldn't have to dread what's going to come up on this device. This is an issue that I personally care about, not just as a governor, but also as a father. I have a 5th grader and a senior in high school, and I see it myself. And I know, because I've seen it for myself, that it's not easy to be a student today. You guys have to manage schoolwork, grades, clubs, sports, friendships, and all the social media that's going on, like the superintendent said. It's 24/7 now. It's overwhelming, and I know I appreciate that. But all of you, every single one of you, deserve the opportunity to grow and learn without the constant fear of being picked on or bullied. Bullying's a real problem across the state. And one of the things that I took very personally is that I was going to get to as many schools as I could. And I'm up over 250 schools. I've been to schools in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Reno Sparks, Carson City, Gardnerville, Minden, Gabbs, Austin, Eureka, Elko. I could go on and on. And I see that bullying can affect your attitude, it can affect your grades, it can affect your health, it can lead to violence, and sometimes tragedy. Over 4,000 cases of bullying and cyberbullying were reported in Nevada in 2014, and I know that is just a fraction, probably just a fraction of what's going on. And for me, that is one statistic that cannot stand. So today, we're going to take an important step forward that will have a positive impact on students, teachers, administrators, and families across Nevada. You really are a part of history today. You represent these, is it 450,000 students across Nevada? Think about that. You represent that student in Gabbs that I talked to. Gabbs, Nevada, their entire school was 23 kids, K through 12. You stand for them. You stand for Forbus Elementary School that I visited in Las Vegas that has 1,300 kids when they have a capacity of 850 kids. You stand for all of them. It took unbelievable courage and bravery for the men and women and the families to step forward as advocates for their children, to share their stories and give a face and a name to this issue. I can't conceive of how hard it must be to talk about what you've been publicly, and it moved me as much as anything that I've ever heard in my life. But I want to share with you all an email that our office received from a mother who was desperate for help for her son. Her son was a middle school student, just like all of you. And like some of you, he was the victim of bullying. One of his friends tried to help him, and then he got bullied too. So they were both targeted. So here's a brief passage from that original email that came to our office. I'm a parent of a child who suffered months of severe verbal and physical abuse. When his best friend tried to defend my son, the torment and abuse turned on his best friend. In reference to another matter, on December 12th, 2013, a beautiful young girl took her life at the age of 13 because she was bullied to death. We would like to contribute in any way we can. We are pleading for change. Our voiceless children need change, and we need to act quickly. I am confident together our experience will help contribute to make positive changes in policies and laws on bullying. And the author of that email was Amy Hare. So today, we're joined by Amy Hare, Mary Bryan, and Jason Lamberth, who have been here through this whole process to talk to the legislature, talk to the state, and share their tragedies. Again, I hope I have one scintilla of the courage that all of you have. So if you would just stand and if you would please acknowledge them for their courage and bravery. Not every child has an advocate with as much determination to find a real solution as what they brought here today. But by sharing their stories, they've ensured that every one of you will now have a voice. There are other heroes in all of this. Senator David Parks, Assemblywoman Ellen Spiegel, Assemblyman Elliot Anderson, Speaker Hambrick, Paul Anderson, Marilyn Kirkpatrick. And there are many other members of the Senator Becky Harris, Melissa Woodbury. I could go down the line. Aaron Ford. These are champions, and this is what public service is all about. It is about standing up for those that need it. It's for speaking out and taking a step forward to make our state a better place, to fight for all of you. I can't think of a prouder moment to be able to stand with all of you and share this moment with you, because it's no easy process, even in a bill as important as this, to get it through. It takes grit, and it takes that determination, and it takes that commitment of individuals that come from throughout the state of Nevada. So thank you for your support. And there are others here. Debbie, another one who's been a champion for schools, Senator Spearman, all of you. Nobody, none of you should feel alone in our schools. But all of this is going to be led by you. You may not think so, but all of you students, it all starts with you. No student should be in pain. Every student should have the opportunity to thrive and succeed. We're all different with unique talents and gifts. We all struggle and succeed in different ways. So today, I'm extending the challenge to all of you to embrace your differences, help each other, encourage each other, stand up for each other. You know, I have a quote on my desk, and I hope I get it right, but it says, "I'm only one, but I am one. I can't do everything, but I can do something. And what I can do, I ought to do. And by what I ought to do, by the grace of God, I will do." So every one of you can make a difference. So before we get to the bill signing, I want to share a quote with you from a generational leader who didn't always fit in with the crowd. Someone who was bullied at school, but overcame those obstacles and literally changed the world. Steve Jobs, the Apple CEO. And here's what he said. "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the round pegs in square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not content with the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They invent, they imagine, they heal, they explore, they create, they inspire. They push the human race forward. While some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy think they can change the world are the ones who do." So I've had the privilege and honor of serving as the governor of this amazing state that I am so proud of for a little over 4 years now. And I don't know, this is right up there with one of the most proudest moments that I've ever been able to have and share with the people of our great state. So when I see all of you, I see the future of Nevada. In my inaugural speech, I called you the generations to come. You are talented, you are smart, you are gifted, and you are unique. You all have limitless potential, and you probably hear that all the time, but I mean it. Any one of you can grow up to be whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be, and the world is in front of you. and we're all here to support you. So all of you that are graduating, raise your hands, the 8th graders. Congratulations. So you've worked hard and you've persevered. I understand there's an awards ceremony tonight, and so let me be the first to congratulate you all for what you've done and wish you the best of luck as you've moved on. So with that, again, as I look out on all of you, I am so proud because this is what makes our state great. So now we're going to make a little bit of history. So if everyone would join me to sign the bill. God bless you, and God bless our great state, the greatest state in the Union, Nevada. Thank you.
And then let's get leadership. Yes. You need it out of the way? Yeah. Yeah. You want to get this set up? I'll get this. Yeah, that's right. Okay, here we go.
Mr. Lambert? Congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Have a great summer.
Very quickly, if I could just have your attention, at Carson Middle School, we'd like to take time to recognize achievement and excellence for our students and we also like to recognize leaders and partners in education. Superintendent Urquiaga has already received a CMS Gold, but we'd like to recognize Governor Sandoval for his leadership and courage in supporting not only this bill, but for leading our state to support education. So on behalf of we're going to provide him a CMS Gold So On Point. Students, you are dismissed. Carefully down the students.